meant to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 point.
It's Thursday? It's Thursday. And I'm heading to Chicago today. So, it's been great hanging out with the family. I was able to relax a little bit, and now I gotta pack all this up and head to the airport in about an hour. Here we go, heading out. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Alright. I'm finally settled in here at the airport. The flight leaves in an hour. I'm just gonna test the Wi-Fi and see if it's fast enough to upload something quickly. And if it is, this will be a video on its own. And if it's not very fast, well, this is where you're seeing it now. While this speed test struggles to even start, I'm gonna hop onto Pokemon Go, and let me just start with my full disclosure here. I'm on my way to Go Fest, and Niantic has invited me. They've paid for this flight. They're giving me a hotel out there. So, you know, I'm enjoying some benefits on their behalf.
Well, I guess the same way everybody, all the pilots like me,
Oops.
has older women, so
I spun it.
I can sympathize with you, I get it.
I was considering not spinning because I haven't had a Pokestop in range for the last few days. Today's my 7-day catch streak, so I'm gonna hit that right now. There's my first Pokestop. So I was planning on not spinning any Pokestops today so that tomorrow would be day 1 for catch and spin, but I just spun that Pokestop. But that's alright, I have a layover in Salt Lake City, and it would be cool to collect some gym badges there, just to start populating my map a little bit. It's a good Centret. Thanks, Candela. By the way. Just a glitch, though. They're not making you change teams. They're not merging teams. Don't worry about it. Not much else going on here, though. Tiny airport. 1 gym, and I can't even get back out to it because it's on the other side of security. So, let's talk about legendaries. A lot of you have probably already heard by now. Legendary Pokemon have been confirmed. They're going to get unlocked if we can complete all the challenges first at Pokemon GO Fest, and then following that, they'll be available for trainers worldwide. This is pretty big news, and I'm going to try my best to contain my hype because I'm in a pretty quiet airport right now. So to start, I'm just going to read a little bit of the official post from the Pokemon Go website. As trainers around the world go out and explore their neighborhoods in search of Pokemon and raid battles, they can keep an eye out for unique legendary eggs appearing at gyms. If trainers and their team are able to successfully defeat a legendary raid boss, they'll have the opportunity to catch a legendary Pokemon of their own. While legendary Pokemon will help them take on the toughest raid bosses and gym battles, they're not willing to leave their trainer's side, so they can't be left to defend gyms. So there's confirmation. We saw that in a previous APK mine, but legendary Pokemon will not be able to be left as defenders in gyms. On July 22nd, thousands of trainers in Grant Park for Pokemon GO Fest and millions of others around the world will be working together to unlock in-game bonuses for the entire Pokemon Go community. If they manage to catch enough Pokemon during the GO Fest challenge windows, the legendary Pokemon will be revealed in Grant Park. If the trainers in Chicago succeed in defeating the legendary Pokemon, that Pokemon will start appearing in raid battles around the world after Pokemon GO Fest. So, that's it. That's exactly what I expected when they announced the challenges and the mystery challenge. I expected us to be working towards unlocking legendary Pokemon, and I'm fairly confident that we'll be able to defeat them within the time limit. Now, let's move to the trailer that Niantic has shown for these legendary battles because it holds a lot of information and a couple secrets that we can cover. So first things first, an invitation pops up for the trainers and shows that legendary or exclusive raid pass that we saw in the APK mine. And from previous information, we had heard that legendary raids might only be available to trainers above a certain level or trainers who have completed a certain number of raids previously, but we're not sure if that's going to be the case or if everyone will just get a notification whenever there's a legendary raid nearby. Personally, I think that's probably the best option because a lot of you out there don't necessarily have a lot of people that you play the game with. You might not have an active community in your city, in your town, but if everyone playing the game got this notification and invitation to the raid battle, you would see a lot more people show up for these legendary raids, as opposed to the way that regular raids are set up right now. The trailer reveals a few different legendary Pokemon. So we see the 3 original legendary birds from Kanto, that's Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. We also see the legendary birds of Johto, which is Ho-Oh and Lugia. And in the trailer, we actually do also see some CP values for those legendary Pokemon, but I don't think these CP values accurately reflect what we'll be seeing in-game. For one thing, Lugia has the highest at 35,000 CP, which is just above what Tyranitar comes in at right now. And based on these Pokemon's base stats, Ho-Oh is actually the legendary bird with the highest CP. Ho-Oh's max CP as a regular Pokemon is about 4,600, whereas Lugia's is 3,500. So again, I'm going to say don't hold on to these values too tightly. They're probably just placeholders. They picked some big looking numbers and they might not be entirely accurate. Now the interesting thing here is that after the raid battles end in the trailer, everyone gets a message that just says, "Gotcha." But we know that's not the case. You're not just going to automatically catch the Pokemon. From the official post on the website, Niantic says you'll get a chance to catch that Pokemon. Now, whether or not it'll be the same Premier Balls that we see regularly, or if you'll get maybe a Master Ball, it's in the game's code. It's possible, but you're not going to automatically catch the Pokemon, based on what we've been told by Niantic. Now, towards the end of the trailer, you can see different groups of people catching different legendary Pokemon. So there's a group of trainers catching Lugia, a group that get Zapdos, a group that get Moltres or Ho-Oh, I can't really tell. But clearly it looks like these different trainers have grouped up to catch different Pokemon, which, you know, that's exactly how raids work, so that's to be expected. And then finally, at the very end of the trailer, we do see Mewtwo fly by. No CP value, nothing other than that quick flyby, but who knows, we might also see Mewtwo at Pokemon GO Fest and maybe shortly after. That's my flight boarding. So real quick, before we wrap this up, I have a video explaining best counters for the 3 Kanto legendary birds. In that video I also explain the best counters for Mew and Mewtwo, but since we now see Lugia and Ho-Oh, let me just add in that Ho-Oh's counters are going to be exactly the same as Moltres. They're both fire and flying types. The same Pokemon are going to be the best counters for Ho-Oh that you see for Moltres. As for Lugia, you can definitely use the Pokemon that you would use against Mew and Mewtwo, because it's also Psychic type, and it's also Flying type, so you can try out Electric types like Jolteon with Thundershock, Thunderbolt, Magneton with some of its better Electric type moves, and even that same Golem with Rock Throw and Stone Edge that you've been powering up for the other legendary birds. So now, with that said, that's about everything that we have on legendary Pokemon right now. It's going to be just a couple more days before we actually get to see them in action, and I'm curious to see what their CP values are actually going to be like as raid bosses, and how difficult they really are going to be for us to take down. Whew. Now, alright, I gotta get on my flight. They're coming. Thank you. Quick stop here in Salt Lake City. Might as well collect my 1 gym badge so I can have something on the map. in this part of the country. And yeah, why not a Crocodile raid? Alright, no TMs, 2 rare candies, not bad. And now let's see what Candela has to say about that. HP, attack, really strong. Okay, from Salt Lake City. Alright. Flight should be boarding in the next 5 minutes or so. Yeah, check this out. Post update. Can still spin after battling the raid. Solid. So I made it to Chicago. This actually isn't my first time here in O'Hare Airport, but it will be my first time in downtown Chicago proper. I've been to the suburbs of Chicago for work, but never to downtown. What is going on? Not sure what that is. Lots of new Pokestops around. I've spun a few. Just waiting for my ride now. Maybe not a ton of light in here, but it's alright. I like it. Nice place. Courtesy of Niantic. Thanks, guys. I need to take a shower. So it's 10:30 now. It's like 8:30 on the West Coast. So I'm still awake. I'm hungry. And I got some people to meet up with. I ended up just ordering in. And now we're editing. I got Twintendo here, who a lot of you should recognize, either from the early days of Pokemon Go or from GoCast, which we're trying our best to get an in-person episode recorded this weekend once Reversal gets here.
Yeah, I was going to say, once he gets here, but who knows when that'll be.
Right? He's been having some issues with his travel, but he should be here tomorrow. So, I'm editing some stuff. I'm editing this video. I'm editing some secret videos. And, it's been a long day. You've been up for 24 hours now.
Might as well make it 25.
Right? We got work to do. I'll see you guys tomorrow.